Welcome to Matrix of Justice, Marvel and Mysteries. My name is Tracy, and it's that time of year again. It's time for the New Year's resolutions. And every year we make these things expecting something to change, and very little ever seems to actually change in our lives. And there are some pretty good reasons why, but let's take a look at what a resolution is to begin with. We know that according to the Oxford Dictionary, that it is a firm decision to do or to not do something, or a formal expression of opinion or intention agreed upon by an assembly or a committee or other formal meeting, typically after taking a vote. And the use of this word has changed a little bit over the years. So in the late 14th century, it was from the notion of reducing a non-material thing into simpler forms as a method of problem solving. This is from etymologyonline.com. A method of problem solving comes the sense of a solving like a mathematical problem. And by the 1540s, resolution is that of a power of holding firmly, character of acting with a fixed purpose. The term New Year's resolution, as we know it today, was first in use about the 1740s, referring to a specific intention of bettering oneself in the year that was ahead. So I've never really been a New Year's resolution kind of person, but I think that the resolutions themselves are pretty telling, and that they're essentially kind of a list of what we lack as human beings, what we lack. A Forbes health poll, it was of 1,000 adults regarding their New Year's resolutions for 2024. Let me share these results with you because most of you are going to say like, yes, I'm in one of those buckets. So resolutions, 48% said to improve fitness. And when you look through these, you're going to see that there's a lack, there's a need of some sort. So 48% saying they want to improve their fitness. In other words, there's a lack of fitness going on. 38% to improve their finances, lack of finances. 36% to improve mental health, and there's a lack of mental health. 34% want to lose weight. So that can be a lack of peace, that can be a lack of self-control. It can be a number of different factors. It doesn't have to do with those. Maybe it's a lack of overall health because there's some kind of a medical condition. There is something that is lack. Making more time for loved ones, 25%. 12% of folks wanted to stop smoking, and only 3 of them said, hey, we want to drink less alcohol. So again, that source was Forbes Health. And there was another survey of as a Forbes Health one poll. It found that the average resolution lasts just under 4 months. Wow. That's pretty terrible. Only 8% of the respondents tend to stick with their goals for 1 month. It says, well, 22% last 2 months, 22% last 3 months, and 13% last 4 months. And the types of goals that are set are actually, it matters when it comes to the success. There's research that was done in a PLOS One study that suggested that the action-oriented goals are more likely to result in success than the ones that deal with deprivation or avoidance oriented goals. And so what their statistics showed was that 58.9% were more successful if they had a goal that was action-oriented versus 47.1% in the avoidance-oriented goals. And so regardless, to me, that shows that the driver behind each really is belief. Whether it's a love-based belief system or a fear-based belief system, belief is still the driving force. Faith is the driving force. And Hebrews 11:1 says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. So we can use our faith both in positive ways or even negative directions. And I can see why the different respondents, it would kind of work either way. Those that chose the action-oriented goals would be successful because they're putting their goal into action with faith, believing that the steps that they're taking toward that goal is going to result in an actual outcome outcome and change. So it might be just walking a few miles a day and they're just feeling better overall and losing a few pounds. So I just keep thinking of Jesus when he told the man to pick up his mat and walk, because he had to put his faith into action for the outcome to be released. But I can also see how the individuals that had more of that avoidance outcome, how that would have also been successful, because they're focused on the cessation of something, some particular behavior that they're trying to deal with that has an immediate issue, immediate impact, or something negative that is impending. And I'm thinking of somebody who might want to quit smoking or something like that. They might have to because they're about to undergo some really serious surgery, and they're concerned about the implications of smoking on the anesthesia that they have for the procedure. So it is almost more of a kind of a fear-based, like, if I don't do this, then this is going to happen, and that thing that's going to happen is going to be really bad. So both types of goal orientations are going to have success because people are moving forward with it, with a goal to deal with the lack that they have somewhere, but it's in two different fashions. Are you going to kind of move forward in more of a love-based and take care of things as you go, or is it going to be more of a fear-based decision? So whether it's a lack that comes from a general life factor, I'm thinking of folks that maybe they don't make that much money at their job and they're trying to pay their bills, they're paying down student loans, or maybe it's even a lack of just self-control that would cause overeating. It is still a lack. And what do? Usually we just set out to hand ourselves some fancy goals at the end of the year, decreeing that next year is going to be so much better. But then we don't really ever address the actual root cause of any of it. We just go about trying to fix all the symptoms and figuring out how we can administer change to the symptoms that we're having. And this takes me back to sales training and things like that, because salespeople are always trained that whatever it is that you're selling, the people in your industry, there is a general need for what you have, but you're really looking for the need that is behind the need, because if you find out what that is, you can have greater success in making that sale because you've addressed the issue, but you've addressed a problem with a solution. So if we step back from our New Year's resolutions to address the root cause of each thing, it really exposes the reality of the issue so that the truth can be addressed, rather than just going after the symptoms and trying to work with those. So we need the truth to confront the need that is hiding behind all of the symptoms. And so I'll just give you a recent example from my life, is that over the past few years, I have just really focused on trying to eat better overall, just better food, better quality food, and just to not eat a lot of junk. And I never really ate a lot of junk, but changes with age, your life, hormones, etc. It affects everybody a little differently, and you're going to experience, some weight fluctuations and things like that. So I've been trying to eat better overall. And I don't eat a lot of sweets, but when I do, it's like I binge a whole ton of them. And it usually is, there's something that happens, and it's something that would typically be negative. And then I would eat like I've never seen food before in my life. And so I could be like all of those who have a goal then and just set the goal of, well, I'm just going to avoid the avoidance oriented goal. I'm just going to avoid sweets and I'm going to be fine. And then I won't have that subsequent weight gain that comes after that. But if I dig further into the situation and the overeating, I can figure out why I felt the need to eat 20 cookies in one swoop. The why is because the stress of my job, this is one particular day I'm talking about, the stress of my job built to such a level that day that I worked right through my lunch. And by mid-afternoon, I was very hungry, but still stressed out. And the next thing you know, I have this little bag of cookies, and they were smaller cookies, so it's easier to justify it. And the next thing you know, there were at least 20 of them. I actually texted someone to be like, I just ate 20 cookies. I didn't have my lunch, and I ate 20 cookies at least. And I knew it was emotional eating. I knew it. The issue isn't the 20 cookies and that I need to avoid cookies and all of that. The issue is that I bowed to stress. And when I should have had my meal, I didn't have it. And instead I chose to work through lunch. And then by the time I got to the afternoon, I was starving, and then I could devour anything in front of me in 5 minutes time. It wouldn't have been a difficult thing. So I was emotionally eating due to this stress because I didn't eat at the right time. So the truth is that my body cannot count on me to actually feed it and feed it good things when it needs it. So no wonder why my body was like, we don't care. We'll just have this, like let's just eat all these cookies because who knows when we're going to get another meal. So let's just do this and then store it all up. So the fact that I eat healthy the rest of the time, it's not totally, utterly derailed, but in a manner of speaking, my body is like, well, who knows when we're going to get anything good ever again. So just, like, let's store all of this stuff up. So my goal again is not to avoid the cookies. It is to recognize when I need to eat and to stop and eat regardless of the stress. Then I won't crave poor food choices later. And my mind would actually be in a less stressful state because it's going to be focused on other things like maybe digesting my food and calming down and being at peace. But if I really want to get down to brass tacks, if I really want to look at what the truth is that there is a lack of peace in the job, which is the cause of it all. And that needs to be addressed, the stress. The goal needs to be dealing with that root cause of the issues rather than just mitigating the issues themselves. So it's really easy to say, yeah, I'm just going to eat better, not going to have any cookies or have this stuff lying around. But the truth is I need to deal with that level of stress that is causing me to bow to it and to feed it whatever it wants, so that I can just keep going with my day being stressed out. So I've heard it said, and I love this, that physical acts of faith done in obedience produce a spiritual reality. And I would propose that it even goes further than a spiritual reality, that it does go into the physical one. Again, go back to Jesus. Pick up your mat and walk. Go wash in the pool of Siloam. And then even in the Old Covenant days, go and wash yourself 7 times in the River Jordan, and then your skin will be restored and you'll be healed of your leprosy. We've got to put those physical acts of obedience done in faith, we got to put it into action and do it for that result to be released in the spirit and that result to be released in our own bodies and in our souls, right? So the charge to all of you doing resolutions is to address the root cause of the resolution rather than trying to fix all of the symptoms that pain has surrounded the thing for, and then not giving up in 4 months. So let's look at the lack we've identified and let's get raw with the Lord about those root causes and deal with those in hope. If we move forward with these things in hope, that is going to help to get us from point A to point B. And just a good old-fashioned reminder from Romans 5, starting in verse 3.5-ish. We also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. So let's look at hope. Hope doesn't put us to shame, but our resolutions of all of the ways in which we can fix the symptoms of the real issues, they'll tend to put us to shame. And then what are we doing the next year? Coming up with the resolutions all over again. So let's make a decision to look and expose the root causes to the light of Jesus Christ. Let's get it out there in the open. Let all the skeletons come out of the closet and dance around and then shut them all down, because you have the Lord and He is your hope and He is your light and He is your peace to override, to destroy the darkness and to destroy all of the things that would kind of set you up for failure so that you can feel great and have resolutions that actually get resolved. So with that, have a wonderful 2024 and have a wonderful time with family and friends and the Lord, and embracing the transformation from the inside out that is going to take you from glory to glory and faith to faith. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.